Boogie with the Bull. 7 o'clock Tuesday night, live. I'm Dave Glovin. We're live on the Dave Glovin Facebook profile. We're also live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And if you're watching, you can take it from the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and share it anywhere on the internet that you want. You can even take it and share it on Facebook if you want. If you're watching on Facebook, you can take it off my profile and share it anywhere on Facebook, and I hope that you do. Jerry Michaels, I think, will be with us tonight. Jen Woodruff cannot be with us. There's a Christmas concert, so she will not be here. Michael Anthony was tied up with something. William Rayfield has the link. I don't know if he will get here or not. Give me a moment to get the live chat on the Dave Woven profile up and running so I can see it there. Maybe it was easy today. All right. So join me on the Dave Woven profile. Look for the post that says we're live. YouTube channel. I think I've said that about 900 times a day. The Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And you can watch us there and be in the live chat there. And if not, hey, we tried. What are people thinking tonight? Actually, speaking of, there he is. Speaking of Jerry Michaels is here.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm all right.
Okay.
You know,
the dogs
cold here.
The dogs have been, the dogs have been put to bed.
Yeah, they're here.
So they shouldn't be bothering.
No, they're in the chair. They're in the
okay,
chair.
No, our dogs.
Oh, your dog.
The big dogs, I think, have gone to bed, and the Chihuahua is sitting on her day bed, kind of looking at what's going on, and the fan is not on because my wife is not here, so it should be pretty quiet on this end tonight.
All right.
What's happening down in what's happening down in your end of Florida?
Well, it's cold. Other than that, I couldn't tell you. I don't really go outside much. It's probably like 50 degrees right now.
Yeah.
I don't like the cold at all. Not a fan of it.
No, I'm not either. We didn't move to Florida to be cold. If we wanted to be cold, we could have stayed in Connecticut, I think.
Well, that's true.
No, not really. Not really.
Eventually, you will get used to it here, and it'll be just as cold for you as it is for us. So I look forward to those days because I know I just know you're running around with a T-shirt on outside.
Not today, but it was comfortable out. It wasn't crazy, but
well, I think anything below 60 is crazy at this point in my life. There was a time where I guess I'm just getting older, and the body just doesn't work with the whole cold anymore. I mean, I used to walk around with a pair of shorts and flip flops at 30 degrees. You know, it didn't bother me. Of course, I was fat. I was much fatter then, so that's probably why. But
a little bit more comfortable. I have 58 degrees in beautiful Middleburg, Florida tonight, so but it was comfortable. We were out about an hour and a half ago, and it wasn't cold. It wasn't hot. It was comfortable. And
well, I don't know. I would prefer it to be 70. I like 70.
Yeah.
You go outside, you do some work. Oh, yeah. I have heat and air conditioning. I can sleep in anything. It's fine.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So
they did tell me that before we moved here that you have to be in a place with central air, and because you're going to need air. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is it's great. Those things work so well that they freeze themselves up all the time. from
Well, ours has a backup, and once the main freezes, like you're running the heat, and it will freeze if it gets down below, like around 30.
yep,
And what happens is the backup heater kicks in, and it also thaws out the inside of the compressor, and then kicks off, and it goes back to regular. But yeah, we were here the first winter we were here. Our AC guy ripped us off and didn't. It was supposed to come with that, but he didn't bother putting it in. So I wake up one morning and it's literally 47 degrees in the house, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Walk outside, the compressor's going. Um, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I didn't find out till I think it was the next week. We called another guy out, and he explained the whole situation. And I'm still waiting to see that guy at the Walmart who ripped us off because I'd like to punch him clean in the face. I
yeah,
swear to God, there's, he charged us for, I don't know nothing about air conditioning. I've learned a lot since we've moved here, but he charged us for one thing, gave us something else, and then found out he was doing it to everybody. He's not even in business anymore. So
ouch,
that's Florida.
yeah, ouch. I would imagine that a good HVAC technician could make a lot of money here in Florida. That you wouldn't really have to rip people
Oh, yeah.
off to make money.
The thing is, like where I live, the main thing that goes wrong with the air so far, or air or heat, is that one of the capacitors go. And the first time before I really started looking into all this crap, I paid a guy $95 to come out and put a capacitor in. So when I paid him, I came back inside and looked up what a capacitor would cost, and they're like $15. And then
Yep.
I watched him do it, so I knew how to do it, and I just ordered. There's two in mine, and I ordered them. And now, if they go bad, I have two on hand, along with a pump switch for my well water pump, which is also very easy. And I paid $147 the first time to have somebody replace that. And that kind of thing annoys me because it's a simple job you should be able to do. Why spend that much money
Yep,
when you don't have to? So,
that's true.
you know,
That is true.
and both jobs. The first time I did the well pump, that took about a half hour, 40 minutes. But the AC was literally like I don't know, 5-minute job. If I had not lost one of the screws and had to search for it in the grass to put the panel back on, I would have done it in probably 5 minutes. So I don't know.
All right, Robin Brunson says hello. Larry Burns is watching. Angela Smith is watching. Danny Campbell, who has watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts than anybody I know, is watching. And so we're truly international tonight. We're up in Canada on Facebook.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Watch that Larry Burns. He's shifty.
Yep.
That Larry Burns is shifty. You got to watch him.
Yeah, for all I know, we could be on this side of the border tonight.
Yeah, he could be sneaking up on you, Dave. You never know.
I don't know.
Never know about them tricky Canadians.
Yeah.
Let's see. I used to work on air conditioner. Coil is freezing up. It's either low on Freon or the thermostat is going, or it's 30 degrees out. Okay. I actually built a lean-to over my outside unit to keep the sun off it, and that has saved me probably $20 or $30 a month, and a lot of wear and tear on the actual unit. Because it's not in the Florida heat. The Florida heat will, as you see what it does to us, it'll do that to everything. So, Anyway.
And Randy Rhodes is watching, which means he's out of the hospital and at home, and I hope he's recuperating. And, you're not supposed to catch that thing, Randy.
I think he got out of the hospital like last weekend or something.
Yeah, I know.
He's been sick. They sent him home sick. I mean, I was wondering about that. That seemed odd. Although, probably a good not if you as fast as you get out of a hospital, less chance you have of dying, is my opinion.
Yep, that is true. That is very true. Alan McMillan is watching. Good evening, folks. Good evening, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
And let's see. I started to say Jen Woodruff will not be with us. There is a Chris's music concert that she is at tonight. And let's see. So anybody else is welcome to pop in. Matter of fact, we'll do this. We'll give you the link if anybody wants to come in and join us. Otherwise, it's going to be me and Jerry till 12 noon tomorrow morning. We lost your vote. Wait a minute.
What time?
12 noon tomorrow morning.
I signed up. Oh, yeah. I don't think I signed up for that, Dave. It's not my contract anywhere.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. I do clean the backside of my. I do clean the unit. I got some stuff I spray in there. Let it sit for 10 minutes. And I got to tell you, for it being outside, it's usually fairly clean. A little bit of dirt comes out, I grant you, but it's actually in pretty good shape. And the damn thing's 10 years old. It's amazing. Larry's still going on about air conditioning in Canada, where it's like 40 foot of snow every day all year. I top in, except I lost my glasses and can't see anything. Well, Alan, sounds like a Mississippi problem.
Yeah. And Randy wants us to know. Randy wants us to know they did find a mass on his kidney that he needs to follow up. Yes. Yes, please follow up.
You may have what my wife has. That's like cysts. She has that. So,
no more hospital stays, Randy.
Yeah, we don't stay out of the hospital as much as you can.
Stay out of the hospital.
I have way too many people die in the hospital, and that's not supposed to happen in this country. I swear to God.
Yep.
I used to live in Florida type weather. Where, Larry? You live in Canada. There's no Florida type weather in Canada.
Is it colder up there?
Larry. Well, Larry will tell you it's like 12 degrees and he's outside in a t-shirt. That's what he'll tell you.
Well, so that he'd fit right in Florida because it'd be 59 degrees and he'd still be bundled up like it was in Canada.
No, Larry come down to Florida, he'd take all his clothes off, and Florida ain't ready for that crap. No. Sorry. No, you ain't south enough for that Florida weather shit, dude, with 90%, 95% humidity and 110 degrees in the summer. South Florida, maybe. Because South Florida, I don't know about now. I don't live down there anymore, but used to only have like 2 cold days a year. Okay. But summer was brutal, and summer is brutal here, but winter it's literally at least cool every day in the winter. We're too far north here, and I'm in the middle of the state. $88 to $120 all summer, $110 in Windsor, Canada. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think Larry's lying.
Okay. Maybe he's in Ontario, California, not Ontario, Florida.
Oh, he'll come on here now. What? I'm trying to get him to come on, Dave, because he'll come on here now and argue with me.
Come on, Larry. I need a good argument tonight. Nobody's home. The dogs are put to bed. There's no background noise tonight.
He got his damn laptop. I think he got his laptop fixed. Hey, there's Jane O'Malley.
Yeah.
Wonder if she's Irish.
Jane O'Malley, are you Irish?
I don't know. Seems Irishy. I don't know. I like the Irish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't marry an Irish girl because they beat the hell out of me every day. But otherwise, we'd have a good time.
Well, you married a Jewish girl. Does she beat the hell out of you every day?
No, I made that a rule when I first met her. You can't beat me up.
My sister, my youngest sister, is who I love very much because she is my youngest sister. At times in her life was the token Jap, the token Jewish American princess. And,
yeah, she's the youngest. I get that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the joke was, what's a Jewish American princess's favorite wine? I want to go to Miami and I want to go now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell that.
I don't think I've heard that one.
I can't tell that.
I've heard that one, but
I can't tell that.
I remember when
friends anymore because they have a place in Miami now.
I wouldn't live in Miami for all the money in the world. There's nice places, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it is so huge and so spread out. And the city of Miami, she probably doesn't live in the city of. She probably lives in one of the outliners or something. But the city of Miami is horrible. I've been there a lot of times. It's just horrible.
I know.
Let's see. Windsor, Ontario is the most southern point in Canada after Point Paley. Yeah. Listen, Larry, I live in the most southern point in the United States, Florida. Okay. And the most southern point in the United States is actually not in Florida. It's one of the Keys, Key West to be exact. We are the closest to the equator. So I don't want to hear about your 14 foot of snow in the summer and it's 110 degrees freaking temperature. What the hell's wrong with you?
Come on, Larry. You got to come on and defend yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
It's no fun. It's no fun as a host when you're arguing with a live chat, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I can't read it as fast as people are typing.
So. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, and Alan says Miami is so liberal too. Yeah. They are, first of all.
They're Democrats.
Okay, but when Trump was in office, they agreed not to become a sanctuary city. And I think DeSantis had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Because it probably had something to do with settle down, Harold. I'm kicking your ass, Larry. It had something to do with state money and that kind of thing. But Miami is a lot of the street signs, the store sign, they're all in Spanish. Last time when I was down there, the Cubans have taken it over.
Okay.
And Miami, back in the 50s, Miami was actually a redneck town. The 50s and before. Really was. And what happened was Miami Beach, the mob took over Miami Beach, okay, and all the hotels and all that. And they turned it into kind of like South Beach, what they did with that. Everybody knows about that. But Miami Beach used to be the hot spot. And the mob owned all the hotels. And back then there was gambling and everything else. And, if there's that, there's the mob. And they made it really nice. And it brought in tourism and so on and so forth. But Miami has really overgrown itself. It's like Fort Lauderdale. When I lived down in South Florida, I lived right outside of Fort Lauderdale. And Fort Lauderdale was actually a pretty cool town. It really was. Right next to the beach, nice places, you name it. And right outside of Fort Lauderdale were very nice, subdivisions and all that kind of stuff, And where I lived was actually kind of towards the Everglades. So I was 20 miles from the beach. So it was I think it was 20. Anyway, so, but like everything else, they always want progress. They always want growth. So they got it. And now it's dangerous place. Fort Lauderdale.
Dangerous.
Yeah. It's like any city. Look at
Any city.
Jacksonville. It's probably nice places in Jacksonville, right, Dave? I mean, but the
Yeah,
general city
from
part
what I've seen,
sucks. It's very
there are
dangerous.
some nice
Yeah.
places, but I'm
Well,
sure
you
that
look
there
like you
are.
live in one of them, the suburbs.
But we live one county over from Jacksonville, but we're surrounded by Jacksonville on all.
Right.
We live in Clay County and Duval County, which is Jacksonville. We're surrounded by Jacksonville. It's all
Right.
Jacksonville around us,
Right.
which is kind of
Jacksonville,
something I
that
don't
guy, actually,
understand.
who's that black guy ran against DeSantis and was a crack addict and probably gay? Um,
I don't.
oh,
That
what
was
the hell's
before
his
I
name?
got
I don't know.
here.
He got busted and he lost the election, obviously, but I think he was in charge of either Tallahassee or Jacksonville, and both are rough cities.
Yeah,
Even Tallahassee, which is the capital, they're rough. All cities, because of liberal policies, have turned into less than desirable in a lot of places. And they keep promising the people that live in the poor sections, I don't care who they are, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to, do this, that. But when they say revitalize, that means that the poor people have to move
yeah.
so they can knock everything down and put in stuff they can't afford.
But where are you
Condos,
moving to? I
all
mean,
that kind
you can only
of exactly.
move them so many times before you have to either bus them to the next county and hope they take care of them, or
Well, that's it. Down in Florida's been this way forever.
yeah,
And I would imagine most states are relatively close. These people have to go find someplace else to live, and here's what happens. They bring the crime with them, they bring their politics with them, and they bring everything else with them, and then they end up, and it's not all, but there's enough, they end up turning wherever else they live into the same horrible situation that they just came from. It's kind of like illegal immigrants. They come in, they take over neighborhoods. I've watched down in Fort Lauderdale very nice subdivisions just turn into horror because of illegal immigrants. Most of those were Cubans. And what happened
yeah,
is I think it was Hurricane Hugo wiped out Miami, and especially down in Homestead, which is just past Miami. And so everybody moved north and they settled in Broward County. Some of them went to West Palm, but most of them south. Miami's in Dade County. I lived in Broward County, which is right above it. It's a huge county, both
yeah,
of them. And West Palm's even bigger.
yeah.
And they took over and the neighborhoods went straight down the tubes. And, what are you going to do?
Has Trump done
They
anything to enhance West Palm, seeing as Mar-a-Lago is there? That's where he claims to spend most of his time living, although right now I don't know if he spends any time there.
I don't know. Good question.
I saw a
He's
video
staying
with
there,
him
but
recently,
I
and
heard he was there. I heard he was there like a month ago, but right now I think he's on trial, so he's probably wherever that is.
And I watched a video recently where he said that he's actually spending more time back at Trump Tower.
Probably, yeah. Well, New York, yeah, because that's where the case one case he has is there. So
yeah,
but he built Mar-a-Lago. I mean, I've never personally. I've been outside of Mar-a-Lago. I've never been in it, and it's pretty grand place. I'll say this, and you just take one look at it, realize what you are, and no, you should not trespass because they would probably shoot you. Okay, that kind of thing. And there's another one in Weston, which is also on the PGA Tour. Same, very grand front, with the high wrought iron gates and then all this other, perfect landscaping and some little Mexican guy out there every single day trimming a leaf off of this so it looks perfect, that kind of thing. So but I don't, I mean, he's had plenty of fights with West Palm Beach as far as their county commission and all that. So, and now they definitely hate him because that's what you're supposed to do. And West Palm Beach is not all of it, obviously, but very high end. A lot of rich people live there.
Yeah. I'm not one of them. We did not win the $412 million Powerball last night, but from what I understand, nobody won. So,
that's hard to believe.
It'll probably be $824 million next week.
Yeah, it's hard to believe you didn't win, Dave. It is. I swear to God, I used to play. We played a Florida Lotto, okay, every week, and I'd buy, I don't know, like 4 tickets or something, nothing extravagant, and I never. I think I don't know, $2, $3, something. I don't know. Back when the Florida lottery started, if you got 3 numbers, you won like $10.
Yeah.
Okay. If you got 5 numbers, you won close to 100,000 or something dollars. Okay. All the numbers went down on winning of what you could actually win. But I remember the fight to get it. All going to go to schools and roads.
Yep.
And the schools still suck, and the roads, actually, Florida roads for the most part aren't horrible. They finally fixed the turnpike, so that worked out pretty good. But William Grant, how you doing?
William Grant is here. Yeah.
But Florida has, it's like any other state. Florida has its problems. We could just do without your liberal politics if you move here. Just if you're going to bring your politics with you, stay the hell somewhere else. Okay, because we don't want you here. All right, we don't. You're, in some places where in Florida, you see, people don't realize how redneck Florida is. Okay, and like where I live, believe me, your policies will not be well loved. Take my word for it. You will not enjoy living here.
Right.
Especially with all the gunfire and everything else of people doing things safely, mostly, not all of them. Some are morons, just like anywhere else. But, and hunting and everything else, you try to stop that crap, they're going to laugh in your face.
So if you're a liberal and you're planning on moving to Florida, Governor Michaels wants you to know you're not welcome.
Yeah, I'm with the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Welcome. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. You become the governor, we'll have you on once to tell people
I think conservative states actually should vet people who want to move here. I mean, literally, see who they voted for, that kind of thing in their state, and then tell them yes or no.
No. If they vetted people, I would never have gotten here.
No, because you probably voted for the right people. But in Connecticut, to be a Republican in Connecticut, I imagine you have to be at least close to being a rhino. I would think.
No, to be a Republican in Connecticut, you have to just be crazy. To be a Republican in Massachusetts.
Oh God.
Bill Weld did pretty good when he was governor. But he went on someplace else. Mitt Romney did okay as governor, but went on to go into the Senate. And I don't know if I should be happy that he's not running again for re-election in Utah, but he does support Biden being impeached. But, any rhino who isn't running for re-election, of course they're going to support Biden being impeached because they're not going to be a rhino in government anymore.
I agree. That's a good point. That's why every time we hear about like these ex-generals talking bad about Trump, it's because they're an ex-general. Okay. Yeah. Their opinion means nothing. All right. Tina Scott, how you doing? Tina, I need you to send me my address, not my address. Try sending your address. That'd probably work better. So I can get your stuff out to you.
Send Jerry his own address, and he's going to send your stuff to him right
do that,
away.
'cause I'm wandering around the woods here. I have no idea where I am. Yeah, do that. Yeah, I agree with you though, Dave. I mean, we have
Tina, let Jerry know when you
like,
mail it, because it's so far to his mailbox that if it's cold outside, he might delay the trip and go tomorrow. So you might want to let him know when you mail it so he can estimate when it's going to get there. We don't want to inconvenience it. Or he may have to pull the battery out of the running tractor to put it in the back in the tractor behind it, so he can pull that one that needs a battery. We can pull that one out.
No, they both got new batteries. The problem is, I don't know if I haven't started them in like probably a month and a half, so I don't know if they start. I may have to charge them up, but I set up a thing where I can jump one battery on the that works onto another battery. I got it all set up with a hoist and everything. It's beautiful, really. It is. It's nice. And I don't have to worry about that anymore because, battery boosters, the jump starters. I swear I bought my first one. It was like $50. And then the $50 one is now like almost $200. And I'm sorry. And they only last a couple of years. And I don't use them, maybe 10 times a year. So you got to kind of look at your use and the price, and then figure out if there's a better way. And I think I have found it, so I'm good there.
Yep.
I got a hoist in my barn now. I finally figured out a use for my winch that I can't put on my truck. So I now have a hoist for the mowers if I need to sharpen blades or do any of that.
You're a DIY car guy. How
front of
why can't you put it on your
truck?
I
could, but I would have to have something actually welded, like not stick welded, actually welded, a plate put on it. And unfortunately, my truck, the bumper part, a lot of it is plastic.
Oh, okay.
And the metal part is cheap crap. So it needs to go to the frame of the truck and then come out and a plate put on two things. And I'm not that interested in doing that. And this works much better for what I have something I can lift up now, which is nice because I'm old and I'm fat and I'm bald, and lifting is not really. I got an ATV jack, which works for the mowers. You pull the mower up on it and then you jack it up. But anytime you put the mower on that, there's a space problem. Not to mention the ATV jack weighs about 750 pounds, or at least that's how it feels. And you can't lay it flat on the ground and roll it. It has to be leaning up against something or it takes too much room. So this alleviates all that. And my wife goes, "Are you going to sell the ATV jack?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "Why?" For the same reason I haven't sold the engine hoist. I may need them someday. I can't do that.
You never know when you're going to win the lottery and buy an ATV. Well, you live on land. You never know when you're going to win the lottery and buy an ATV.
I'll be truthful. I think I'd rather have a golf cart than an ATV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just to ride around an ATV, I don't find that's not my thing.
No.
But, if I had a golf cart, I could ride to the mailbox instead of taking a truck because walking apparently is out of the question.
Yeah, walking is not fun anymore.
No, it's not. And I actually drive to the mailbox. It's like, I don't know, 400 feet or something from my porch. And I just get in the truck and drive down there. And then I pull out and I have to back up to the mailbox and then pull up to the mailbox, open it, then back up and then go back up the driveway. I'm not really sure, what I'm saving other than it's certainly not gas, but screw it. I'm lazy. Michael Anthony, how are you, sir?
Michael Anthony, you're welcome to join us if you can. I apologize. I couldn't move today to 6:00. even if everybody was available to do it, only because I wasn't available at 6 o'clock to do it. So, but
Yeah, we kind of need you.
You're more than welcome to jump on. Larry Burns up in Canada. If you keep insulting Jerry's intelligence, he's going to probably borrow Stephen Tolliver's jet, fly up to Florida, and put you on the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to crash into your new house and your house at the same time.
Okay. No threats of physical violence tonight. No.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that's true. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. No. All right. I don't know. What are we talking about tonight?
Whatever you want to talk about, anything. It's like I actually moved better to how I really wanted to do things. I woke up, I think, at 6 o'clock this morning. I put up a promo and sent it to a bunch of groups. And then I went on with my day. And then at 6:59, I said, I don't know what I'm going to talk about tonight. We're just going to turn on the mics and do it and hope that the dogs aren't barking and the fan isn't getting picked up. And and I know it makes a big deal when people say it to me, only because we don't have high-tech studio crap here. I've got a Chromebook with a built-in microphone, and I've got Wi-Fi headphones that the microphone is turned off on. And I mean, I do have one of those fancy, desk mics or mics on a boom that everybody has, but I don't use it much. And
well, you got to have a place to put that. Mine's been in 4 different places, and I finally found a place where it's actually out of my way. And when I'm done, I just do this, so that's cool. But everywhere else it ends up being in my way, and I don't, everything has to be in an exact spot. And even if you saw this desk, you'd laugh. Yeah. I actually have one of these things on my desk because this is my wife's. It's about 20 years old and it's broken. I thought I'd see if I could fix it for her. Okay. But everything has to have a place. And when something isn't working, I got to figure something else out. Okay. Right above my screen, I have a shelf.
Yep.
And, I got all kinds of crap up here. I don't know. Nose drops. You name it, I have it up there. And
I cleaned my desk off recently. I cleaned up my desk because I have a printer on the floor that we finally got out of storage that I'm going to put on the desk. But I had a little bit of space, so I took out my Trump coin that I got for an ounce of copper that I got for Father's Day from my oldest son and our grandson, and it was either a bag of Nicky's tea, or what won out was Bill Buckler's 2 books.
Oh, okay.
All right. Which everybody should have.
But, shout out to Jen. She. I can't believe I just said that. Holy crap! That's not good. Anyway, Jen did a really good job on that interview.
She did. She did a really good job. Yep, she did.
He was like the first guest we've ever had that was, he really knew what he was talking about. He researched, all that stuff that you want.
He is a pleasure. He is a pleasure to have on. I really have to say this. Unfortunately, I was in a really rag mood one morning, and I thought he had misquoted me 5 times in the broadcast, and I just blew up. I mean, I've never blown up at anybody that bad, and I hope one day that I can get him on or be on somewhere that he's on, and I can at least apologize to him. But the books are spot on. And when we had him on, he said, don't read the book. Don't worry about reading the books chapter by chapter in order. Open it up, go to the table of contents, read the chapters that are of interest to you first, and then go back and read the rest of the book. Unless you're like people who just, read a book from start to finish.
Well, I
My
don't,
brother,
I don't know
I'm not
about that.
a book reader.
I can't afford them. So if I could afford them, I'd buy them, but I can't. I got other stuff I got to buy. I just answered Larry's question, and it's on YouTube. So you have to go to YouTube to find out, Larry. Apparently. I don't know why I can't get on here. I can see the comments from Facebook, but I cannot answer on Facebook. But anyway, I think it's a couple years old, Larry. It's HP. It's the cheapest one they had. I think it was like $240, something like that. And then I got like a 3-year warranty, so whatever that is at Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael Anthony says you always yell at him. Well, I don't know. You yell at everybody. You don't yell at me. I don't know why.
Yell at you?
Everybody yells.
No, I won't ever yell at you because if you're bored one day, you're going to jump in your truck with your gun, and I'm probably not that far away from you.
No, I ain't driving that far to shoot somebody, Dave. That's sorry. That ain't going to happen. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I mean,
pretty much wherever I am, I'll shoot somebody or my property. That's it. Yeah. I'm not going to go out of my way to shoot somebody. They'd have to do something pretty horrific to me for me to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I can only think of one thing, and anything on social media ain't it. I can't tell you how many people told me they were going to come here and kick my ass over the years. I used to just tell them, when you get to the Walmart, call me. I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's not.
Hey, why don't you, Larry, how much you want for it? Maybe Dave will buy it off you. Dave needs a laptop.
No, I'm not. I have an old Windows 10 thing, which miraculously enough updated, and it works great. The only problem is it's a tablet with a keyboard docking station, so that when you put the tablet into it, it's sideways or landscape, whatever they call that. So the camera is on the left, and I'd have to put a webcam on it if I did it. But the newest Chromebooks have 17-inch screens, and that's what I'm going to probably pick up.
Listen to me, Dave. Could you quit with the freaking Chromebooks? Just stop with the cricket. We're so tired of hearing about the damn Chromebook.
Okay.
Get a freaking laptop. Okay. The thing is right in the middle. It'll be fine. Okay. Get a laptop. Chromebooks. Okay. I can't even believe that you managed to get on here on StreamYard, right? Mm-hmm. With one of them Chrome things. I try with my laptop. It doesn't work at all.
There's a reason. StreamYard is written in Chrome. So I figured when I decided I wanted
Chrome.
It. Right. It worked out that I just happened to have a ton of Chromebooks. So it just made sense.
Okay.
It just made sense to do it.
It actually has nothing to do with StreamYard. It has to do with Facebook. You can't get on Facebook on a live video without Chrome. So it stands to reason that while you're on StreamYard streaming to Facebook, you have to be on Chrome. Okay. I've always had Chrome because I look at it this way. Some people say Chrome, it's horrible, Google, blah, blah, but they're all horrible. Every last one of them are horrible. Right. They all do the same shit.
They do.
And that's the way life is. Oh, there's William. How you doing, William? Good to see you.
They do. William, you're welcome to come on too. Larry Bird, you're welcome to come on. Michael Anthony, you can come on. If you're in the live chat and you see the comments, you're welcome. I'm in the live link. You're welcome to come on.
Somebody bring up a topic.
Go for
Somebody bring up a topic. Because we got
somebody bring up a topic.
It's not as easy talking about Chromebooks for 2 hours.
No, we're not going to talk about Chromebooks for 2 hours. No.
Oh, God. You're funny, Dave.
We're not going
Anyway,
to talk. We're not going to talk
anybody got
about
a topic?
Chromebooks much
Anything? I
longer
don't care what
because
it
I
is.
got so
Because I
mad I
gotta
hit
tell
it
you,
the other day. I had to go out and get a full-size wireless keyboard because I broke the keyboard on the Chromebook when I went.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I have a wireless mouse, which is great because my computer is over there, the tower, and the mouse is on. I'm right-handed, so that's that. My keyboard is wired, but it's shoved up directly underneath the screen, which is fine. The only thing I had to do was get a lighted one because I couldn't see the keys at night anymore. And that kind of sucked. And I got it off of Amazon for like $30, and it has made a major difference because if I sit back here at night and I'm not doing a show, I usually don't have the lights on, just the computer, and that's that.
Yeah, I don't have the
Jerry,
room
let's
for a
talk
desktop.
about when you are going to move to Iowa.
Yeah.
Listen, Robin, I'm not moving to Iowa. That's the end of that conversation. There is nothing about Iowa but corn and snow. I can't, why is this so hard for everyone to understand? I don't want to see the white stuff. When I was in the Marine Corps, I thought in my contract it said I could only fight a war in Bimini because it was warm all year. Okay, there was no snow. I looked at it; it wasn't in there. They took it out before I signed it, but I had them put it in there, and they stole it from me. So there you go.
Gene O'Malley says, "How about the state of
How about the
middle
state
class?
of the middle class?" Go ahead. Sorry.
Really no left. Sad. Or the state
I
of the
don't
middle
know
class.
if there is a middle class anymore.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, Dave, since the 70s, and you'll remember this, we were still young. Like Dave's like a year old, too, whatever it is, older than me. But, we were coming into being teenagers and the dangerous kind, like 16 and above. And they were talking about the middle class back then going away because of the taxes at the time, which were way less than now. Money was worth more than it is now. And here we are today, middle class. I mean, you drive into a subdivision or some sort, nice one, whatever. I don't know what happened here. Dave quit the show or something. But anyway, and there he is. Okay.
He froze.
Wow, that's good. I've never had that happen before. And now he's gone again.
There it is. Yeah.
Must be that damn Chromebook.
It is. It's that damn Chromebook.
All right. We're working.
It had a touch screen, and I got too close, and I touched it.
Okay, stop touching it, Dave. You made me nervous there for a minute. I've never had that happen before on someone else's show. But they were talking about this in the 70s, how the middle class was going away. And we are here now. I got to tell you, I don't really see it. You realize that at one point, guys would go to work at a physical labor job, make $5 an hour, bring home like $150 a week, $200 a week, own a house, own a car, feed the family, all that stuff that, parents and all that do. And now you make $200 a week. You're lucky if your parents let you live with you.
Yep.
Okay. It's unreal.
And if you make $300
this is all
a week,
the government doing this to our money, cheapening our money by constantly borrowing money and then printing money, and so all that whole thing that everybody knows about. And now our money's worth, I don't know what it is. We still have some of the highest currency in the world, I believe, but there are other countries whose currency is worth more than ours, I do believe. I could be wrong about that, but I think. It was an article I read like 6 months ago, so I could be wrong now. But
isn't it like our paper money actually? Our paper money is worth less than the cost of the paper and the printing supplies to print it. I mean, they actually pay more to produce it.
Well, if you look on like any bill, it says it's a promissory note, so technically it's not even money. It's just a basically an IOU.
Yeah,
promissory note is, we'll pay. You give this to somebody and get kind of service product, and we promise to pay them. It's all a mirage. It's very complicated mirage. And the more debt we have, it seems our whole financial system revolves around debt, because like you go deposit, say, $1,000 in the bank, they're going to take that money and lend it to someone else. Okay. Your money is not your money. Your money becomes suddenly the bank's money. And they're promising to buy something with your money for somebody else. And that person is promising to pay back this. It's all in the air. It's like you may have 10 grand in your purse, but it's the actual transactions of money is all in somewhere up there. I don't know. I wish I could get up there and get some. I can tell you that.
Me too. Well,
but I mean, you go to your bank, try to take out $20,000. You may have an actual problem of your money. Money. You may have an actual problem. I mean,
you can, but
I went to an auction one night. I spent $1,600, and they declined my first card because it was too much.
Yeah.
Okay, $1,600. They declined my card. And I'm like, I went to the bank the next day. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" Go ahead. So,
you can take out 20 grand, but you usually have to notify the bank like a week before, because the bank has to make sure that on the day that you're going to take it out, the Brinks truck drops off 20 grand. Because my mother, when she was moving out of her last house into assisted living, I think had to do a big ass withdrawal like that. And they told her when it would be there. And she didn't get there. Something happened. She couldn't get there that day. So the truck that came the next morning picked it up and took it back. And when she got there the next morning thinking that she'd be able to get it, they said, "I'm sorry, we sent it back." So you're right. It's, you may have $1 million in the bank, but you're not going to get, you can't touch it when you want it. You can move it around on paper, but yeah.
Listen here. You listen to this. You've been in a bank how many times? 5,000 times, right? You owned a business. You did all this. I did the same thing. Have you ever seen their safes? Their safes are freaking huge. Yeah. I don't know if they're there for luck. I've never actually been in one, okay, or seen in one, because it's never like facing like where you could see it. And I'm not going to jump over the counter and like get arrested. So, but they look huge. And what do they got in there? 15 grand just for daily business? It's insane. I
mean, I've never been in there when a bank ran out of money. I've been there when an ATM ran out of money, and they just shut it down until
middle class gets screwed by the housing market. They get screwed by the job market. They get screwed by every single we'll call it a market, because I can't think of the real world, but but the middle class gets screwed by everything. And then we forget about, we haven't forgot about, it's impossible to, taxes. Everybody wants to save the poor. Every administration since I've been alive wants to save the poor. Yet the poor and the middle class are paying the majority of the taxes. Now, one thing about the left I get is the taxes the rich pay. I don't blame the rich for only paying what they have to in any way, shape, or form. I don't blame them, because I would do the exact same thing. Okay, like Trump. He's not going to pay $1 billion a year when he can pay $750 million. It's not going to happen, and it shouldn't happen.
Right.
The problem with code is the IRS not being I believe a government entity. I don't believe. They are the tax collectors. They write the book, which is, 16 volumes long or something. And like you and I go, we're not going to get the same tax breaks that big business is going to get, because they hire more people. They do this. They have losses they can count. Our loss may be $100. Their losses could be, $1 million. And, and what Jane says is true. That, my opinion, taxes
I'm sorry.
Them stealing it right out of your paycheck at least should be illegal. Them making you pay a tax, which they don't call a tax, it's a fee. But a fee is a tax because they don't want to tell you it's a tax. That's all. That's the difference. All words. Okay.
Right.
On a car you already own, a piece of property taxes
Right.
on every year. The roads you're paying a tax on, highways, not all roads, highways. Now they want to tax you by the mile in California, and if that actually catches on, it will be in other states. Okay, you go from one state to another, like pro baseball and football, and all these players that go and they play in these cities, they have whole separate taxes. You open a business in one place, you're gonna have a tax there, and then you're gonna have a tax at your house. I live in Florida. The Canadians used to come down here and live 6 months out of the year for a
Yep.
tax break.
Yep.
Both here and I believe in Canada, from what I was told by a Canadian guy. Now, whether that's still the thing, I don't know, but they would own like a condo. Like there was this one place called Windmore, which was for old people. It wasn't really assisted living. It was, but it was all 55 and older. And they would live in there for 6 months and then go home for Canada for 6 months. And they'd save a lot of money on taxes in both places. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Their reputation, the only reason they had bad reputation is they were horrible tippers. They would leave you like $1 for 15 fucking people. I mean, it was ridiculous. Okay. But we get screwed I'm not in the middle class, but we get screwed. The poor and the middle class get screwed the most. And instead of we have to pay taxes, folks. There is, and those taxes should go to stuff like infrastructure in the United States, not Lebanon, okay? And paying the military, and I get that. But if everybody paid, I believe, I don't know about now, but it used to be like 10% of all your earnings for the year, you would notice that you bring home way more money, okay, and that the government will have plenty of money to run on if they don't waste it. Now, the government's been wasting money for many, many years. They don't make enough money for all the crap they're paying for. And most of the stuff they're paying for is either out of the country, giving money to people who hate us.
Or themselves.
Or, you ever seen some of these studies these government contract scientists do? Some of the most ridiculous crap, in like the mating habits of this or some crap or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We don't need that. Do that with private money if you really want to know, or your own money. How about that? Okay. Do it that way. So much stuff. And then we have welfare for illegal aliens. We have, all kinds of stuff that we're paying out. So they have to keep asking for more and more and more, but they can't get it out of us because they know they'll get de-elected. Okay. So then they start calling everything a fee, or this, like fishing licenses. Really? We can't. First of all, the fact you need a license to go fishing is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's sad. So I don't know. The taxes, we are now a country that started because of taxation without representation from the king. We are now a country that has taxation with representation, and they're all screwing us. Republicans, Democrats, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about that.
There's probably 20, Dave, in the Republican Party. They won't vote for more taxes. Won't vote for the general foot on the neck kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe 20, 25 people in the House. There's probably maybe 2 in the Senate. Okay, that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was thinking about this earlier today. Their entry pay in the House and the Senate right now, I think, is $174,000 a year. When whoever wins the 2024 election, it doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat, you watch, their pay is going to jump to $200,000. They're going to get a raise. They're going to give themselves a raise. They're going to make $200,000 a year. I kept saying to myself, if they were doing something worth paying them $200,000 a year,
they don't even work all year.
Right. I would say, sure. But I mean, I could sit down with, like I said before, I'd love to sit down with AOC one day and say, hey, you live on my Social Security for no, matter of fact, you take you keep your $174,000 for a few months. I'll stay on my Social Security, and I'll go and I'll do your job better than you're doing it. But
I would be a lot happier if they would actually go to work every day and work.
Yeah,
I'd be good with
that.
that.
I mean, why do we give the president
for a start?
Okay, but why do we give the president $450,000 a year, and don't say it's because this is what he would get paid in private industry? I don't care about that. 75% of his existence is paid for by the taxpayers. So why does he need a $450,000 a year salary? And I mean, Trump was kind of the example. I'm going to take the checks. I'm going to cash the checks because I have to, but I'm going to give the money away because I don't need $400,000 of government money. But I don't know. Taxation with shitty representation is what Alan said.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Well, first of all, you didn't say nothing I don't agree with. I don't know about the president, but I think that if we should demand that they actually work, what they actually do is spend 75% of their time trying to get reelected by raising money for either themselves or the party. Right. And 75% of the time you're getting paid just to get reelected. I'm sorry. I don't like you that much. I don't. And considering, obviously what we see every day on TV with these idiots yelling back and forth and nothing ever getting done, they're not actually doing anything when they get there other than political rhetoric to get reelected. These hearings and all this is for the upper echelon of these politicians to get reelected because they can act all big and tough and that kind of thing. And I'm just frankly I'm sick of it. I don't really care anymore about any of them. I don't have a favorite anymore. I don't listen to them anymore because I know whatever they're saying is double talk and lies. Michael Anthony wants you to send him the link. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm going to. Give me a second.
The American dream is no longer a dream. We're watching this country go down in flames. I agree. The American dream, literally, even when I was growing up, you could be anything you want to be. It wasn't ever taught, your parents tell you this. It wasn't that, they told you the American dream. They said you could be anything you want to be, which is the American dream. And now, the American dream, I put this up the other day, it has become trying to live indoors and, keep your job and that kind of thing. The American dream has died. It's I don't know if it's died, but I got to tell you, the flames are down to embers, and it's going to go out eventually if they keep this up.
Yep. All right, Michael, you got a link, so I expect you to be here in like 35 seconds. By the time I stop talking, I expect you to be here.
Oh, that's a good way to get him on. Yeah, that'll work. Good. Yeah.
Well, it was like you and Larry, But, I took your advice. No, you told me a long time ago, stop sending out like a whole bunch of links to people every day, hoping that they come on. So today I posted the link in the group, and then I think I sent it to two people who aren't in the group anymore.
Well, you know what, Dave? You worked your whole life. I worked my whole life, and you look at it. The hell we got the show for it? Okay.
Nothing.
I mean, yeah, we got very little money.
I got no money.
You want to buy something like extra, you got to kind of be able to, try to, plan for it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Emergencies come along, you're already stressed out, any of that kind of stuff. And, it's not like I know I worked my ass off most of my adult life until I just couldn't anymore.
yeah,
And I can't even get my Social Security. I can't get the military should be paying me money because that's where
yeah,
I originally got hurt.
yeah.
And I held off because I always thought that the military, I'd be able to be taken care of. They would send me money, because I got hurt in the military. And I just never, I didn't bother to go to the VA. I didn't do any of that stuff. And
Yeah.
that is now a problem for me because they won't give me my money either. And they made a promise.
Yeah.
And I figured, whatever. And here we are. And um, it's difficult.
It
And
is.
when you're at any age, you should have a living wage. It's not that people don't have a living wage. It's that people are in jobs now, like at McDonald's, that are 35, 40 years old, and they're not making a living wage because McDonald's is supposed to be a, 17-year-old.
Right.
Okay. And people don't want to get better at whatever they want to do so that they can go into any field and make money. They don't want to do that for some reason. Now, and I'm not saying all, I'm saying a lot. And so instead of doing that and putting the work in, they want to just make $15 to burgers and fries and stuff. But that is a burden on the system. I mean,
And the cost of
did what
that
I did,
burger.
and I got better at it through the years just by trying stuff and doing this and doing that and cutting down on times and figuring out how to set up my truck and all these different things, tiny things that you have to do to make more money. And I did that.
Yep.
And you Dave with the limo business, I'm sure and now here we are. And I'm not saying I didn't screw up my own life because I did, but I still worked my ass off.
Yeah.
Okay. No matter what was going on, I always worked my ass off. Usually did the job of two guys at least, sometimes three, depending on what the job was. And I got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And that brings down me, that brings down my wife, that brings down my daughter, who I can't help, with anything because she needs something, I can't give it to her. And that bothers me a crap load
Yeah.
because that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know about Dave. I can't speak for his life, but I know he busted his ass because you can't own a business without busting your ass. You can't. People say
No, you
I
can't.
want my own business, so I have to listen to the boss. Well, you still
No.
got to listen to the boss. The
Well,
boss is whoever you're working for
I,
or yourself. You got to drag your ass out of bed and go do what you're supposed to do. Because if you don't have them anymore, those people anymore. It's just that simple. And it sucks. But and I don't know too many people give it up either because they
no,
are
but
in
I mean,
charge.
you're right. I mean, I busted my ass for a bunch of years working for other people until the one day I sat down with the last guy and I just said, you got two choices. You can make a hell of a lot of changes to the way you do business and lose money, or I'm going to leave and go make a hell of a lot of changes to your business and I'm going to make money. And that's what I did. But yeah, once you become the boss, yeah, you're busting your ass. I mean, I had, when I managed, I had 12, 15 guys, gals that drove for me. So there was always somebody to drive and do a job. I hung my shingle up, started giving out my business cards, and the phone rang at 3:00 in the morning. I had to get up and go to bed and do it. So, yeah, but you know what? I'll still tell people there is no greater pleasure. It's a privilege, maybe, but there's no greater pleasure in life than working for something, you nurture it, and eventually you don't have to be out there busting your ass every day if you don't want to. Michael Anthony busts his ass every day anyway.
Yes, I do. It's rewarding, though.
When I first started, Dave, I was eating macaroni and cheese every night for the first 6 months of my business. Not the good kind with the cheese, the kind with the powder. And that's what I ate every night.
No. What year in working for yourself did you get Velveeta? When did you
made
get
$20 in a day. There were some days where that's all I made. But I didn't quit. Everybody told me, go get a job. The reason that I started my own business is I couldn't stand working for anybody anymore. And I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. But by the time it was over, I had an excellent reputation for not stealing, because a lot of guys in my business would, if they found money on the floor, they just steal it. They didn't care.
Yeah.
I found any more than change on the floor. I put that in a cup or whatever, or put it on somewhere. Yeah. And if anything more than $1, I'd hand it back to the customer. I did a good job. I did a complete job. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And I did that on every single car I did. And, you end up with a reputation of people will start recommending you because they know you're not going to make them look bad.
Yeah.
I don't see that as much. Everything is quantity over quality instead of quality over quantity. And in the end, you will make more money doing quality over quantity. It's simple as that. And I would imagine that's the same in most business. Although I don't know that for sure, but
well, Michael Anthony, studio.
Michael, how are you?
10 o'clock talks has joined us. How you doing, Mr. Anthony?
Good. Welcoming in this December and the change, and hoping for people to be able to walk down the streets in front of each other, being able to smile at each other, and having respect for each other. But again, it's a pretty bold dream. But getting back to work. It's always been an uphill battle for everyone. I've lost businesses. I'm not going to lie. I've gained in businesses. You learn from mistakes and you learn to move on from them. And with that comes rewards and different types of success, as long as one is willing to strive to get to that point. Nothing in life is easy, and we've been dealt bad hands. You think being, on your own in business, that you can say that with pride, but people don't understand the background that comes with it and some of the disadvantages, especially when it comes to taxes and everything else. A businessman will pay more in tax. A businessman could do a couple different ways when he narrates through his income tax at the end of the year. And most likely they're going to wind up owing, And if you take a payroll, it doesn't always offset the intake of what the business made versus the wage you made, which means then they're double downing on you, which is our government, which, in a way, when people say, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm going to throw something at you. I've given us a lot of thought over many years and thought to myself, if I open my mouth like this, it's like opening a can of religion. But when you recite the Pledge of Allegiance, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Now, wait for it. And also to the Republic. So we have always been two nations of entities under a one world government already. But people don't realize it. And that's why this conflict of who we are and what we are, in my mind, comes to the forefront of this war, and the element that, we try to keep fighting for success. And we deserve a lot more than what we receive.
Do we ever fix this and get back? Because it just seems more and more, the more and more I look at it, is we think we are free. We think this is a democracy or whatever, a republic, and we have rights and we have this and we have that. But then people say to me, well, it's really crap. We don't have anything. These people, these elites, whoever, they're just letting us think we're living this way and we have stuff. But, we're really just, are we fooling ourselves? Do we ever get back to where we were? I want to believe Donald Trump every time he's on a stage and he says, make America great again, keep America great, and all of those. But do we ever get back to that point? I'm going to turn my mic off while you guys respond.
Go ahead, Jer.
I don't think so. I think we can.
I would agree.
Make ourselves feared in the world. I think we can make ourselves feared in the world. That's not hard. I think we can get some other countries to toe the line. But I don't think one man can change anything back to the way it was. We can make our dollar stronger, but we're not really doing any. But we're not going to end up doing things that's going to make everything better, like all manufacturing in the United States, not leaving the country because the taxes are so high. Until the Democratic Party realizes that, or is thrown out of office completely somehow. And the Republicans, most of them also, that we can't continue the way we're going and expect to have any kind of country left. I don't see how it's going to happen. And that's a lot of people to put out of office. And our voting record shows that it's not going to happen. And why isn't it going to happen? Because people vote for people by the sound of their name or, the tough guy image and all the rest of that. But they don't stop and think, what have these people actually done for this country to help it become bigger and become stronger and financially responsible, which is exceedingly important, if you ask me, at this point, because I think that if we just quit sending all this money overseas and buying, doing all kinds of stupid crap with it here that's useless, if we would just take all that money and start paying down a national debt, I don't think it would take as long as everybody thinks, because people don't realize just how much money is wasted in this country on programs that don't work or are so corrupt. It's ridiculous.
The studies of turtles who
can't fire anybody in the damn.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. It's stuff like that. We were just talking about something similar to that, actually. So
it's nuts.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's totally ludicrous. I get it, and I'm not taking off my hat to the brother from a different mother on that statement, but it's ludicrous. We do this, but here's why. It's because the strength of the wings. The strength of the wings are the symbol of the United States, in which some people are led to believe. But it's all come from a different country. When we look at the eagle, it substantiates strength, power, and unity. But the truth is, it doesn't. It represents a left wing and a right wing that can fly together, that never will. Of course, if a bird goes up and only has one wing, it's going to fail in flight. It's going to fall to its death. It's going to take both sides, and it's always going to be a war. There's never going to be a change in that freaking war, of course. But, to try to put it to you that way, it's the same with Christmas and corporation riches. Would it be safer? And I heard this quote from a movie. Would it be safer to lie to a child for a smile, or tell them the truth and receive a tear? Like with Christmas and Santa Claus and big corporation and beliefs and non-beliefs and all these factual information that we have been implanted on, that we now have absorbed in our own bodies, who try to celebrate and create unity around something that has nothing more than trust in God only. Trust in Santa Claus. I mean, it's all about trust of something you can never see or never receive back from with any benefit to. So we stay in this place of limbo, in my mind, and that's the best way I could put it. And in words. It's up to people to understand it's going to take every man, woman, and child on this earth, on this planet, to fight back against what we are fighting back against right now. And if every person of the countries don't see the truth behind everything, because everybody has been affected illnessly, and if they don't stand up to this democracy, this new policy of this new norm, we are going to fail catastrophically. And again, I mentioned, I think on the other night on your show, Jared, just a simple conversation. We have to unite using common sense, and that will be how things will create success for us. But until people understand and teach their children properly, the corporation will always be the ones remaining in the power. We need to break this corporate structure. Corporate structure are the ones who politicize and use the political format of democracy to say, I will control the component of the left, the same as I will control the component of the right, because we will give to them and they will owe us for it. So we have to get away from all these things in my mind. We have to put them aside, but it doesn't mean that we, in theory, cannot somehow unify good ways of creating something out of what we have been taught, but tell it the truth to our children. So we set examples for them to understand the path that needs to be taken to destroy this environment that has infested our families, our homes, our lives, and taken lives from innocent men of war who believed people's words, who said, we need to hate these people. I have worked on jobs with people of many races, colors, and origins, and we have always broke bread, laughed together, drank a beer together, in some cases even more, and remained friends through life. It's not the people that have the freaking problem.
Right.
We need to kill the platform of the strength. Are people willing to do that this holiday? Are people willing to do that into their future? If they're not willing, they will have nothing, and they will end up and they will be happy from it.
They'll end up and they'll be happy from it. And that's the sad thing, because I find it very hard in a lot of the conversations that I get into on Facebook or even or YouTube or wherever I am, that I don't really care if Jerry wanted to be, as an example, an American neo-Nazi. I don't care if you want to be a Scotch-plaid Pennsylvania Farm Boy party. At the end of the day, I just want us to be Americans and to be able to sit down and break bread together. And if there's a problem, if there's a reason we need to come together as Americans and talk and make a decision, that's what I want. But when we're done talking, you want to go back to your neo-Nazi American Party platform office, that's great. But we've lost being Americans. We've lost being Americans. We've lost being Democrats. We've lost being Republicans. I've lost being a Republican so bad that in the last, I think, 4 years, as long as I've been doing the broadcast, I started calling myself a conservative patriot just because I didn't want to hear Republican anymore.
And many people would agree with you. But this information and controlling of narrative is where we've all come from in many ways. And it starts in ancient times. And as we say, history repeats itself. Well, go freaking back and take a look. We've never come out of this dilemma. If you want to go back and even look at quotes of the scriptures, if they're factual or not, free my people. What God would say, free my people, when all people are God's people. These are the conflicts of the cognitive dissonance that they implant into all of us and have always done it. This is a war beyond all wars. This is bigger than World War III. This is bigger than World War X. This is a war on humanity and the structure of something that could be great again. And that's what Trump, I think, is trying to lead us into. That type of greatness, but he also understands he can't do it alone. And the strength of us is necessary on all levels to make something like this great again to happen. He knows he needs us, and we know we need him. And that's where we stand in it. But Jerry and Dave, I'll say to you this, until we can convince more people, and I do think we have a growth out there, but a lot of people are just saying, I'll be silent. When the time comes, I will react. And we better pray to God that that's true, because they do stay silent. They say to themselves. And while all this happens, other narratives are forming, other agendas are forming, and they are violating us as people. And no matter how we look at it, if you watch a movie even today and you go through Peacock or any of these other apps and you land on them, go into a Christmas channel now that they promote free movies, etc. And through the holidays, you might find yourself reminiscing through some of these great features that we saw with children. But in between them, it's a circus gone wild. It's all about transgenderism and protecting the binary children. And I mean, it is bizarre. And it's every 5 minutes, 4 commercials, and there's a repeat. It'll be them advertising for this new norm of society for children. And then it goes into a normality of commercial, maybe a furniture commercial, and right back to it, and then right back to it. They double downing. They're spending money left and right. And they are implanting by doing this. Televisions are the most dangerous element that we are facing out there, because it's all these little moments that occur like this that we see like this. Now, you and I and Dave would sit there, Jerry, we would all sit there and say, what the fuck is wrong with this picture? Well, we know exactly what's wrong with this picture, but they're controlling it. They're controlling the picture. They control Hollywood. They control music. I put up a song last night for people to reflect about what this all means, because things like this have all come on over the years, time and time again. Janis Joplin, the Doors, and they don't even realize that some of these people of who they are, rock stardom, their parents were in arm deep into the shit of the government. And that's why they were put there. That's why these songs were handed to them. And they were said to perform them. They did. But I think that it's always been part of the war. And when you have two oppositions fighting each other, it creates chaos. And then you have places like China and TikTok and A&I, who are now manipulating things that are probably not factual in any way. But if you want factual, go back. All I can say is don't look at the present. Cancel out culture present. Cancel out culture present. Cancel it out. Go back to the past. Look at the information, and you will find your answers within it. Because right now, it's all about disorientating your mind and our minds. But again, I will ask you guys one more time in the most gentlemanlike fashion that I can. What do? Except push forward and hope the things that we say manage to make it out there somewhere and have strength and can create more power within the people. Power within the people, power to the people, slogans that were from the past that meant something by people of all cultures and colors that were fighting this like Armageddon 50 years ago.
Mr. Michaels.
Are you referring to me or somebody on the...
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
I'm still muted. Mr. Michaels,
do you have a corporation anywhere? If you took a corporation anywhere in this country, just a big, small, makes no difference. You divided that corporation on any kind of ideological lines you want. They were sitting there on your shop floor fighting with each other, arguing with each other, in some cases possibly killing each other. Your company would collapse, probably in an exceedingly short period of time. Okay?
That's what COVID was set up for.
The United States government, the United States government is a corporation. And that is exactly what it's doing. Now, why hasn't it imploded? Well, people don't realize that it is on the way to doing just that. But because they have all the power, they don't have to follow laws. They don't have to do this. They don't have to do that. They take all our money. Okay. It's taking longer for them to do it. They've been doing this probably close to 100 years, or maybe actually a little more now. Okay, that's how long they've been doing it. Through administration after administration, this small law, that small law, slowly but surely taking away our rights. The rights we think we have. You walk into a courtroom and you will be shocked on how few rights you actually have, including evidence or anything else. It's up to the judge and, whatever his politics are. Okay. We are imploding. It's just this ain't an oil company. This isn't any of that. This is the United States of America, which at this point we should think about changing the freaking name, because it's not united in any way, shape, or form. And they have us for that one simple reason. We are so hopelessly divided. There's an excellent chance that we will never get back together. And then what Michael says, I've heard Dave say it, Nick, everybody says it. We will not win until we are. And what that would require is very simple. It would require everybody putting down the politics, because politics are bullshit. All it is rhetoric and a bunch of crap and then some bad laws. Okay. Put that aside and realize that if we are not the United States of America, we are nothing. We will have unelected people telling us what to do, other countries telling us what to do. And I got news for you. You may not like colonization, or you may not like this, or you may not like that. But once they get to that point, they're coming for everybody. They don't give a damn who you want to vote for, what your opinion is, or anything else. They are coming for everybody, because once they get rid of people like me, they will come for you, because the government is a never ending. It's like a shark. All it does is look for food all day and eat what it sees.
It is that cesspool.
Okay. And I don't care who you think you are. I don't care who you. Yeah. I don't know who you. I don't care who you think you are, or how close you are to this, or how you agree with that. They're coming for you too. And if any of you high-end, educated college kids would ever actually look at some real history, it would take you about 5 minutes to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because throughout history, that is what governments have done. And I got news for you. Our government is doing it as we speak. Think you're free? Oh, this is the freest country in the world. No, it's not. There's other countries that are just as free. Here's the thing. When they want you, they're going to get you. Period.
Exactly.
And that's it. And all these rights you think you have, you're going to find out real quick you don't.
Nope.
Okay? You're going to find that out real quick. And it's unfortunate that there are a lot of people out there that really don't put a lot of thought into these things and say to themselves, you know what? I gotta just, every presidential election, what are you going to do for me? It's not the government's job to do shit for you. The government's job is to put policies and laws in place to help you do for you.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And what people have
they're not. It's not their job to hand you out anything. It's not. That's not. It's never been their fucking job for you to do for you. Period.
I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that Social Security, disability that I'm on, or even Social Security in general, I wish it had never been created in the way that it was created. And it just, something encouraged me to maybe take some money out of my check every week and put it into something and put it into a bank account that I couldn't touch till I was 65 or until I needed it. And there are accounts like that. Because it's hard to say to people, you get your first job now in 2023 and you're going to work for 60 years, 80 years. You're going to work for 60 years and hope that there's something there for you to retire on. That money will be gone long before you got there. And we don't even know if this country will be here. But I do want to ask both of you who talked about it the other night on the American Rebellion, I believe. Jen brought it up, I think, or the central bank digital currency card that's coming out. That's going to be the government that now owns your wallet and everything in it. The Rothschilds and the Fed Reserve. Do we have the power to actually shut down the Fed and boot the double R's out, or do we owe them more than we're ever going to be able to pay back? I mean, I can't just see you walking into Mr. Rothschild or Mr. Rockefeller and just saying, you know what? People don't have to pay back their student loans, so we don't have to pay you back. You know, and them just going, okay. So can it be done, or are we just on here each day talking about impossibilities that trying to incite people to do things that they probably may not ever be able to do?
Well, there was a time and point in 2000 that was called the year of the Jubilee. You could have been facing court-tried charges against the Fed or the FBI. I'm sorry, not the FBI, the IRS. And you would have been forgiven. But no one talked about that law. And if you didn't know that we were within the year of the Jubilee, you missed on it. And because of the fear factor, you made deals, which means you gave them compliance of agreement. So how do things like this happen? Because of the structure and strength of the money that gets fed throughout the left and the right, of how getting you voted back in, and donations will work for your next upcoming election. So nobody talked about it. In 2008, it came out that it existed and it had happened. And that the United States Post Office, now a lot of people think it's called the United States Post Office, but who's it controlled under? Another country, the same as the Fed's under another country. You know, what happened to the Titanic? The three most important critical votes died and went to the bottom of the ocean. That we're going to vote against the Fed, never to take place in America. So, you know, again, I stress to everybody, go back and do research and understand why we are where we are, because everything that Jerry just said in his last statement, it collaborates with him and it gives him validation and substance. It's factual. Everything that I'm saying is true to fact if you're willing to look for it. And that's why I do shows that are all over the place, because everything is connecting a dot. Technology connects dots. UFOs connect dots. Bigfoot connects dots. Why? Because they want to keep the element of you busy while they get away with murder. While we sleep at night, they are most active. That's why trains are transporting people and planes are transporting people all through the United States. And these people are coming here to take our country, to take it over. And worse, you know, we have our own government who gives money to collaborate with other countries to create wars. They support them. They fund them millions of dollars every year. Oh, we have to support these people. We may need them at some point. Yeah, they're all needed at some point, because it's all a lie. And their lies are disastrous. That's why they take over countries and mineral rights. And right now, China's starting to buy up all the lands in Africa. Not all of them. And people are being pushed out. Guess where they're coming? Because they're being pushed out because China's buying. America. Okay? This is exactly how the network works as an example. That's a prime example of current right freaking now shit going down. And again, when people come on and tell me and they challenge me and they call me out and they really don't want to reach into my intelligence, they dove into it today, a few people. You can only explain so much, but they expect you to put everything in perfect English in writing to them that can hold me accountable when they are following us, tracking us, and collecting our data. I'm not going to stress to say anything to put myself in a compromised position where I might face jail time, because I'm willing to talk about topics and subject and don't want to wind up dead from it like many others of my predecessors before. But I do my best. And again, here's where we are. This is how we suffer. And until people wake up more, and I agree, Jerry, these people were only needed for now. They're a substance that's working for them for now that have been prepped. And in ways, even me as a parent has been blinded because I was busy in life trying to make the next tax date to be paid, trying to make the mortgages, trying to reach the overhead number that I needed to make. And it was like $20,000 a month I had to crack just to get into profit. People don't realize what that's like. And I'm a small piece of shit when it comes to the reality of big business. I'm not big business. I'm a nobody. But try reaching that every freaking month of your life for 50 years. Try doing it.
Yeah.
And that is true success. And they take it from you. They take it from you. We are garnished in ways that, and disciplined in ways where without their system, we will have nothing. But if we fight against their system, we stay in the game to try to have success, and we have none at the end of times. As a matter of fact, they're waiting for you to get into your coffin so they can now tax your estate. So, I mean, how is it from the time of birth to the time of death that there's any benefit here? We need to destroy this government policy, these both sides, not just one. They're both terrible. And there may be good and bad on both sides to some degree. Nevertheless, we can't trust any of it anymore, and that's where we come from. But we have to work with what we have because it's the only thing in place. It doesn't mean it's going to cure anything by any means, but I do feel bad for these children who think that they're fighting a war for something that means something when they've been placed into an element only to perform a certain task. And their task will be rewarded, but in life, it will not.
No. Jerry, comments?
Sorry, dude.
No, it's okay. Just want to make sure everybody gets a turn.
I get you, brother. Just trying to keep it real.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, your mic is off.
Damn, and that was the smartest.
Welcome back.
That was the smartest thing I ever
Jerry.
said too, and now I'm not going to say it again. Yeah, I was the smartest thing I ever said in my life, and I'm not going to say it again. So you guys lose out. No, listen. I look at where we're at now, and I look back when I was a kid, how many more freedoms I had back as a kid. Okay, and you don't realize it at the time, but you can look back and see it because you remember everybody. Okay, I don't want to go back to that time. I want to go back to my great-great-great-grandfather's time and the freedoms they had. Okay, that's where I want to go. Where, at some point, you went to work or you worked a farm or store, whatever the hell you did, and you kept all your freaking money because you earned it.
Right.
And the government may have taken some, but it was nothing like today. Okay, and I get that today is different. I do. I do. And I believe that we need to pay taxes. I believe that. And this is the problem. We're sending like 17 million or $1 billion to Afghanistan to I don't know for LG alphabet people shit. Why do we need to send it to them just to have them being thrown off a building? I don't understand it. I don't actually even care if they get thrown off a building, to be truthful. But what I do care about is America. Period. And what people don't get about Trump is Trump, I believe, actually gives a shit about the American dream. And he has worked in a profession his entire life. And I'm not talking about any money possession. I'm talking about the construction industry, where he has watched construction guys probably struggle through this and struggle through that and so on and so forth. And he's watched these people and he understands what he's looking at because he's not as near as stupid as everybody makes him out to be. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He says some stuff sometimes I wish he wouldn't. He does some shit sometimes I wish he wouldn't. But you know what else he does? He's trying to make it better for American people. Okay? He's putting America first without, any kind, really not a lot of, conditions or anything else, to be able to, for us to like maybe, I don't know, take a breath. But he's one man. And the problem isn't Trump. It's the House. It's the Senate. It's the state houses. It's the county and city commissions. It's all of those people. They all need to go because everything bleeds down from the federal government. And the way you fix that is fixing it from the bottom up. Because if you don't take the time to go vote in the primaries, you don't take the time to go research some candidates and quit worrying about what they're saying and start watching what they're doing, which you will find in many, many cases is next to nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what do we have to worry about? We have cons so far down. We have to worry about, wow, does our vote even count? Does our vote even count? Because people have been saying that for years.
Well, you're right.
I have to tell you, I'm going to go vote. But I got to tell you, I have zero faith that it's going to matter right now. I hope. I am surprised. But as of right now, I'm going to go to the voting booth and vote and do all this shit like I always do. And I'm going to have, when I walk out of there, I'm not going to have the same feeling I did the last time I walked out before they stole it from them. I'm going to have the feeling of they're just going to steal it from them, and I've just wasted, half hour of my time or something.
And that's tough
sad.
Because for 4 years I've been listening to you say, "Go vote."
That is our most basic right in this country is to be able to vote for our. I hate to call them leaders, but that's what they're supposed to be. Okay, that is our most basic right.
Please don't use that term.
And in the last election, yeah, I know. I
mean that's like weighing in on them that we owe them some type of freaking respect. We don't.
I
agree with you. And
for most of the 4 years that I've watched and listened to Jerry, he's been saying you got to go vote. It's the only job you have. And now sitting here and listening to him probably speak the truth, going, they stole your last election, so what the hell makes you think going and voting is going to do anything this time is a scary reality.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, the way they worked it last time is they just stopped counting votes until they had enough.
Yeah.
It's 3:42
sure
in the morning.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 3:42 in the morning, the world changed.
Yeah, 3:42 in the morning. Yeah. Let's go play 20 minutes worth of commercials while we bring in the briefcases full of ballots that we're going to count.
Right.
It's 3:42 in the morning when the doors got opened and outsiders got in. I mean, this is what makes absolutely no sense to me at all, other than it proves the Randy Rhoads narrative. We gave it to them, but it's true. They told us what they were going to do, when they were going to do it, how they were going to do it, and then by God, they went and did it right in front of us at 3:42 in the morning, and we just kind of sat there and.
Well, what else does one do?
I was asleep at 3:42 in the morning, but that's not my
exactly.
That's not an excuse.
Exactly. When I woke that night going to bed, I knew something was wrong. By the next day, I was to the point where this ain't America anymore. They just stole this election. Yeah. And we all knew it was going to happen. They were all going to deny it, and they were going to just, whatever. And they did pretty much. I don't know if anybody expected people to be political prisoners or not, but they did that too. And here we are. Yeah. New election coming up. Another whatever. Little under a year now, whatever. And I personally will go vote just in case. And that's what reason I'm going, just in case. But I have zero faith that it's going to be worth anything. Zero. And that's not right.
You're right. I get you. And I side with your thought. But in ways I tried to promote ways that of possibility. I think having a good belief system of a possibility is better than not having anything at all. And I was saying, go to these polls and vote and stay there and show our strength and integrity. Now I come to the conclusion, get the porta potties there a day early. If most of the world can show up, all these patriots show up every Sunday for a football game, a basketball game, into the mega millions all across this country of America, supporting all these football teams, they can come and they can hang out and tailgate with us while we watch our strength in front of the cameras take place. Because we need to do things like that in order for the world to see, and not just the world to see, because that's not the true element that matters right now. It's winning back America that matters. But the media will have no choice but to try to suppress us. And will they have enough time to do it? If we came on in such numbers to where they knew if they pulled the trigger the wrong way, there would be a lot devastation across America occurring. There would be an uprising so strong, and it would happen at that point. And that would be a part of their Build Back Better that would just be demolished, because that would be the first infrastructure that would be attacked on. And again, I'm not trying to promote that or try to say, hey, use your strength this way to attack that. It's not that. It's when we can come together, every man, woman, and child of America old enough to vote, to be there. Make sure that you are a legal register, because we would be accused of the crime that we weren't registered, while illegals coming into the country are allowed to do certain things of certain jurisdictions of other states as now being placed, allowed to vote in certain cities, even though they have no authorized citizenships. This world has changed. Like when you brought up the fact that you would like to go back in time to when your ancestors were living. Well, our families were in a point in place where America was only being structured into place. So a lot of people didn't pay taxes. They had to slowly battle us down and corner us all in order to get us all on this list of taxation. And so, yes, would it have been a more peaceful mannerisms of life? Probably. But it wasn't all good, because while they weren't fighting us, they were fighting the Indians to take the lands from them, and making deals with them after they, did what they did. I mean, so many of the indigenous have suffered to their hands just as well as us. And these are our blood ancestries, brothers and sisters of the United States of America. They truly are. And they have suffered the consequences too. But again, they fought back at a time where they made a difference in America, and the government made them partnerships into their programs and formats to bring them in, to absorb them, to basically ridicule them, control them, and make them part of their own mafia. And that's what they did. And now we even have corruption within the lands there. They don't talk about it, but these reservations have been so badly damaged by the impact of what our governments are capable of. We're starting to feel that same impact. The drugs, the deaths, the suicides, the social anxieties, they are pushing the narrative to destroy America. And I would say, just to go back to the vote real quickly, and I'll shut my mouth, is maybe if we get there a day early and really show our strength and do what it takes to stay there for 48 hours, maybe we'll come out with some type of more element of something of victory, to where they know any move that they make could be a result of them being caught in the wide open. And they know that they have already been caught. They know that we have the proof. They know that we have the videos. They know that there's films out there that show people in drop boxes throwing handfuls in. We have mayors and police and other officials who have already been criminally charged, found guilty, but it's all a patsy. Gently slap them on the wrist and let them go. 3 days probation. They're guilty. They did it, but yet it's still counted. It didn't change the outcome. So we need to stand in front of these boxes. We need to do everything that we can possibly do. And that's why I think Trump's calling on us as citizens. Be out there, be aware. Be out there, be aware. I should start promoting that because, to be honest with you, it's probably when these moments come when I get so physically fired up and emotional inside is when the best comes out of me. And I really say that to people. Jerry, let's promote something like that to where if people can be out there and be aware, we will have it. It'll at least give us another resource of strength of the possibility that we can bring him back in, and then we stand with him to change America back. But even if that success happens and they hand it over to us, which there's another problem of the prodigy that I'm looking at, of this dogma. When we get into things like this, and they know the first people he's coming after is all of them, they're not going to want to hand this country back to him.
Is it safe to tell people right now, if you're a Republican that is registered and you're thinking of not voting, or you're not on a voting log where you're going to get a ballot that you can vote? The Democrats have already tracked that. And for lack of putting it any better, they've got an illegal immigrant that just came across the border that they're all ready to say, you're now Michaelovich Anthony, and here's your ID, and you're going to go vote. Or move to California because they're going to give you a driver's license. And once you have that, excuse my English, goddamn driver's license in your hand, you now can go register and vote. Because I don't understand when I hear governors say these people need driver's licenses so they can get to work. Because what I hear is the governors saying is they need a driver's license so they can go register to vote in my state. So they can vote for that one Republican that we know isn't going to go to the polls. I remember growing up in Silicon Valley, as I call it, Santa Clara County, California, where get out to vote was the biggest thing in the California Republican Party, short of the annual Lincoln dinner every year. I mean, we made sure that senior citizens that wanted to go to the polls got to the polls and voted and got home. We made sure handicapped people who couldn't get to the poll got to the poll and voted. And my stress level animation, as my wife calls it, has gone up because I don't think people see that. And then I'm going to end this when we end this broadcast, and I'm going to go, did we get through to anybody, or did we just regurgitate?
Yeah.
Because right now, I think a lot of my broadcasts, not attacking anybody that ever comes on, Michael, Jerry, or Stephen, or anyone who ever comes on, I think right now I'm stuck in a regurgitation of telling people, you got to go do this right now, because if you don't do this right now, you're not going to like what is coming. And I don't know if it's getting anybody.
Well, I think it would be smart for everybody to jump on this bandwagon, because you know what? It's the ones that stay at home that don't vote that they'll steal the vote from. Yeah. They'll have people filling out documents and paperwork and, submitting it as a Biden vote. We've seen it in life. We've seen it in death. There were dead people. There were dogs. I mean, come on. We know that they will go and stoop to any level of corruption to win this election. So it's important that we keep our integrity. And something else that people may want to do, a short clip TikTok video. I vote Trump this coming November 2024. And, there would be proof of who people were voting for. Because part of the problem was when people got there and said that they already voted and they never voted, we know that there was thefts beyond what we were looking into. They will stoop to any level. So if people come out ahead of time and announce without any fear that they support Trump and will vote Trump, that's also going to put them into a corner, wage them into a corner of war that they don't know how to come out of. The thing is, we have to think so intelligently above them in order to do it, to rescue this country and to promote him to replace him back into his rightful office that he won both times already. So the third time's a charm. I say we got to work it that way. And again, just keep some of these ideas in mind. I mean, I'll probably shortly be doing it. And, they could take me off. They could cut me, whatever. I'll get on somebody else's platform and use that until they throw them off, and I'll jump to another one. I don't care. That will have to be part of how we're going to have to structure ourselves in this battle to keep strength going. But I think if we do it and suddenly tomorrow there was 100 million or 110 million people saying, I vote Trump, they would fall apart. They would fall apart knowing that there was no way out for them. Show up at the polls. These are things, it's a whole new psychological warfare that we need to place back on these people because they are bastards. They are pure bastards.
When did we go, excuse my English, fucking complacent and just roll over and say, Facebook, do whatever the hell you want? We discussed this on the American Rebellion the other day.
Education, the last 55 to 65 years, how it's indoctrinated even us. And it has. In ways that we didn't even think about it, but we just took it as a grain of salt. We're in our lives busy. These are the people we voted in. They're supposed to be doing righteous by the people, for the people. The American corporation, I'll refer back to the Pledge of Allegiance. It represents two forms of unity. People don't think of it. And maybe I'm wrong. But say the words to yourself in your head and think about when you get to the applause, what comes after. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, meaning one. And then suddenly it turns the corner and says, and to the republic. And is us. A placement that they gave us to toy with us, where we thought we were in charge under the representation of America, which is a bullshit lie.
It's even worse than that, though, in the sense that, we thought the House Republicans were going to come in, or at least I did, thought they were going to come in, they got the majority, and they were going to do something. And I said to someone the other day, and excuse my English again, but the only fucking thing the House Republicans did was impeach McCarthy. Other than that, they haven't really done a damn thing. Other than maybe talk about doing a few things.
Their successes are not rated. Their successes are not promoted through media. Their successes are only told between us on small citizen journalist shows like this, where we speak out against them. And that's all we can do. They've had successes, but yes, it looks more like failure. I understand that. Again, that represents the strength that these MFers have over us.
Yeah. Kerry, you want to turn?
I do this for me because I can't quit. And I feel like, at least for me, there's a value in it. If someone agrees with me, I'm happy with that. If they disagree with me, we have an actual conversation on our show. Nobody calls, nobody names, nobody does any of that. We just disagree. But I often wonder what Dave wonders, what Michael, is this worth it? Well, it's worth it to me because if I go down, I'm going to go down fighting. And right now, this is how I can fight. It may get worse and have to actually fight, but right now, this is it. And I'm not wired to quit, especially when it's my country, and it is my country. It's not their country. We all have forgotten that.
Yeah.
Yes, we say it all the time, but we have forgotten that this is our country and these people less than 1,000 of them up in Washington, D.C., are making decisions against our will or the will of the very small minority of idiots that they have indoctrinated. And quite frankly, I hope that someday, again, which I'm not sure has ever happened in my lifetime, but we actually get some adults to run the country
I
instead
hope
of these
so.
children.
Oh, and most definitely on that part.
But
I
I'm not
hope
going to
so.
quit. I'm not going to quit because, I mean, I'm not going to quit simply I've almost quit a couple of times because it's like, what are we, especially after that
Don't
last
do it.
election, I was like, what the hell are we doing? They're now at the
Jerry,
point where they're
let me ask
stealing
you something.
elections.
Jerry,
I'm glad you didn't.
And
Go ahead, Michael.
Jerry, I want to ask you something. And Dave, this goes back a little bit to what you just said too. We've seen a lot of things come and we've seen a lot of things go. Where have they gone? Who were these people? They were utilized and now they're MIA in action. So what's left for them? What are they using on us? Transgenderism seems to be the only ace they got in their hand. Without that ace, it comes war. And then again, we're not a beneficiary to that element because utilizing that and creating draft, which they're working on the paperwork still for that, it's not been publicized in a way that it should, but that will just take more lives from our family fighting a war of nonsense because we're told it's an order or else. You've seen what an order or else caused, the types of problems that caused on January 6th. All promoted by bullshit, lies, and 5 busloads of implants, helping to create a narrative of a lie.
I got to ask you, and I've never said this before, transgenderism. Our government went in with this grandiose experiment that believed they could make boys decide they want to be girls, that girls decide they want to be boys, and there would not be any draft anymore because there wouldn't be properly mental focused soldiers to go into the United States military anymore. And if they did that, and now what you just said sounds to me, now they've said, we did that. We got all these people so screwed up, but now we're so short in the military, we got to take these people who we screwed up and put them in the military because we don't have the military.
Joe's already holding them accountable of action.
First of all,
go ahead, Jerry.
First of all, the amount of transgenders in this country is such a small percent. It has very little to do with the military, although they're in there. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they are. Okay. There was gay guys in the military when I was in the military. All right, but here's the deal. All right, what they have done is in the school system, they have taught kids that America sucks. We're colonizers. We're this. We're that, and they're not completely wrong about that. True. But if you're a kid and that's all you've heard your whole damn life, what are you going to say? Well, I'm not going to join the military. Screw that. That is the main problem. And it's always the main problem in socialist and communist countries, the way they do it. Now, we're not officially that, so the only way to get people into the military is to force them in. Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but during the Civil War, Lincoln tried that stuff. Hundreds of people died in riots in New York City because they were drafting up, people that didn't want to go and, be cannon fodder, which is basically what the armies were back then. Now, it's not a lot different now, just less numbers. Okay. So the school system, of all the things in this country that pisses me off the worst is this country, frankly, it ain't the military. It ain't, the taxes. It's the fact that the United States of America is the biggest child trafficking enterprise in the world, and they're doing nothing to stop it, which means to me they're involved. There's no other reason for them to not stop this other than the fact that they are involved. And there's not enough people saying what I'm saying right out. I mean, most people, maybe they think they don't say it, but that is what this country is right now. And it's, I'm not. It's not like I'm some child advocate. I never wanted kids of my own. I didn't want any of that. But to watch what happens to these kids burns me.
I haven't said it enough times, but they're coming in from Mexico with people who aren't even their parents, and they're going to Canada. And I don't know what happens when they get turned over.
They're going to every country in the world, Dave.
But the bottom line is, it's not like they're coming to they're not coming to the United States to be here in the United States. Maybe some of them are be trafficked in the United States. But you know what?
I mean, look how many freaking kids per year. Look how many freaking kids per year go missing off sidewalks in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Many of them are born and raised here and so forth. All right. I'm sorry. They're not all being kidnapped, by ex-parents or whatever.
Right.
They're being sold into sexual slavery all over the damn world. And the United States is doing absolutely nothing about it. This is not a city problem. This is not a town problem. This isn't even a state problem. This is a federal government problem. And that's because the federal government is the one allowing it to happen and doing nothing to stop it. Once in a while, they'll bust a gang of them to make everybody happy. But that gang is replaced in about 3 seconds, just like the cartels down in Mexico. When they get a guy, by the time they announce it, they got a new guy in charge and it's business as usual. Okay? This country is a child trafficking juggernaut. And it's got shit to do with Mexico. It's got shit to do with any particular country. It has to do only with the United States government because they are the ones who are allowing it. Period.
That's what I wanted to say. When we went to Mexico to bust Escobar and bring him back to the United States, I was probably one of the only people thinking it because I didn't have the balls to say it then. Did we only bring him, Michael? Did we only bring him into this country because of the expertise and the enterprise that he had in Mexico? And if we brought him into the United States under the auspices that we arrested this really bad guy who's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, that all he's really doing is setting up the enterprise here in the United States for the government. And like Jerry is hinting around, this country is so messed up that this broadcast, I won't ask myself when it's done, did we get through to anybody? It's going to be, does everybody understand? Because I'm starting to understand how we are, and whether or not, even if we pull off the 2024 election, even if we've got a Republican super Congress, even if we've got, I don't know, can we save the damn place, Michael? I guess I'm 61 years old and I want to go back to when I was 16 and I felt good about my country.
Well, I don't know where to start because you kind of had a lot of topics.
Yeah, I know. I crossed all over,
and that's fine. Yeah, it's savable with every one of us working towards that, goal. And then doing what's necessary once we get there under proper leadership. Maybe one of those things under proper leadership would be destroying every record and law ever infringed upon we the people. and watch that big bonfire go up, and we start fresh with a new rebirth. That might be the rebirth of why it is called an awakening. It's never happened before, not that way, but maybe that's a new example we need to make. Now, if we get back to Escobar, okay, and then go to the Clinton Foundation, go to Arkansas, go to that foundation that Clinton, it was like a banking cartel. And, look, when Trump said we need to be worried about certain groups and organizations out of Mexico, he was telling you right then and there, these were the people that were in charge of the element and also own banks in the United States of America that we needed to worry about. Okay. So, I mean, the cards were out on the table. And if anybody wants to look into the Clintons and what they stand for and the organizations that they put together, as Governor Clinton did, he became one of the wealthiest governors in the world. And he was the wealthiest in the world. Where did the money all come from? Drug deals. He knew how to work around and make money. Look, this is a guy that ran from the war of the United States of America on a draft that never had to actually face anything from it because somebody named Hillary had her ass placed up against certain people's doors when they had little windows that they could, whatever. So there were deals made. And how are these deals were made? Mainly were through sexual conductivities. And it's everything that we're talking about right now. It's what our government does. Yeah, they'll feed us a little bit to make it look like, hey, we solved the problem. It's gone. It's not gone. They were protecting the problem, and they were pissed off at people who were not complying to them, who took the risk of saying, I can be bigger without you. And they said, we won't have that. And the truth of the matter is certain people fell to the powers of the United States because we were that technically savvy and that strong as well. So they made examples out of these people. They placed them. It put them in order. It put things back onto what they called a manufacturing element of bringing back into the United States. And that's exactly what fentanyl is all about. That's what the era of heroin was about. That's what the era of cocaine was about. That's what the era of freebasing was about. That's what the era of opiates is about that everybody's fighting now. Even right now, they're trying to say, let's not hold people accountable and we'll take these people out of business and let them keep their profits, but nobody can touch them. They're trying to protect behind right now and blaming you for being sick because you're in pain and you need medications of sorts. And they're, restricting that. Because they want you to go to the streets. They want you to become part of an element of the streets. The devastation of America, the fall of America. Be the fall of America so we can make it great again under our democracy, not under what your beliefs of democracy are. So, yes, a lot of good stuff here all over the place. Again, we have to have a goal. And I think that's the only way we can have any success with it. Without that, we're going to walk to November 2024 in total failure. And the only thing we can do, even if it's just one ear hears us, as I say, one of my phrases, if one ear hears me, it's helping somebody somewhere, or maybe just giving them enough strength to fight back for tomorrow. If these non-trickle events happen, it creates power, it creates strength, and it creates unity if it's placed properly. I don't know if my words tonight will help anybody. I don't know if any of your words will help. We can only hope that we have come across in some way, of some form of fashion, of our beliefs, of how we have come to conclusions to be able to talk to people and resonate the proper information to them. But look, Dave, I need you. You need me. Jerry, I need you. You need me. You need Dave. He needs you. We need this element of everything to have substance. With no substance, we have failure. Strength is in numbers. We all know that saying. I didn't say it, but I might have had something to do with fuck Joe Biden. That I will never deny. Sometimes you can provoke people to do something. I'm just saying. But, who cares about that? What matters now is there's a war and we're fighting it every day. It's more than just psychological. It's more than dissonance. And if we stay on a path that, with respect to everybody that matters, that will vote, we may have success that way in 2024. But again, some of my ideas for everybody to get out there and say, hey, look, let me do that TikTok thing. Let me put my information out there and let them know the only person getting my vote will be Trump. Then we have proof beyond circumstance that we know how many people are out there actually going to vote ahead of time for him, and they will have nothing from it. If we will reverse the narrative, be happy and have nothing, they will have nothing, and they will have to face the charges under Trump.
Are the TikToks getting played on Facebook, or are they getting buried and shadow banned just like everything else?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks ago they would show me, and we were getting, we're small time on Boogie with the Bull. They were showing me we were getting 180 views.
This show.
Now I'm not getting anything.
This show, every show on Facebook, everywhere, conservative, unless you are somebody, you're being shadow banned.
Yeah.
And right. One of the problems we have with that, Dave, is some of the people on our side that aren't shadow banned ain't helping.
Right.
Okay. They're not all of them, but there's some that ain't helping the situation.
Yeah.
They're in it for themselves. This is something that has to be done from the heart for your country. Yes, you should enjoy it. You should have a good time doing it as much as you can, all that kind of thing. You should laugh. You should, whatever. But in the end, this is your number one reason is because I love this country and I'm tired of seeing it being, rearranged by people that I would not allow to be in charge of a pile of rocks.
Right.
Simple. So, that's, listen, Dave, I think last night we got up to 35 viewers at one time, and then that dropped back down for whatever reason. They don't like the show. The graphics are bad. Everybody's got a freaking excuse.
Yeah.
Some of them, maybe they don't like them, whatever. But you know what? I don't care. This is what we got. This is what we're putting out. And it's real American people, stating bitches, whines. And, I keep saying this. I've done enough shows now over my 10 years that we have solved every problem in this country. The problem is nobody is listening to that can change anything is listening to it. Okay. And even if they were at the way they are going, they're not going to. So that tells me, as Michael actually just said, is we need a reset, but a real one. I mean, the entire tear it all down and start over again kind of thing. Because without that, I got news for somebody. I don't know who, but it's nothing is going to change without that.
Right.
Because these people that go into politics and they get rich off it and all that, the only reason that they're there is not to represent the country, their state, or their constituents. It's to represent a color. It's to represent a religion. It's to represent some kind of, something. Okay. It's not to represent my area and do the best I can for my area. Okay. It's to represent the party. It's to represent, your bank account. Politicians work for the people right up until they get elected. And once they are elected, they forget about the people. They'll go back and tell them a bunch of great things they're doing or trying to do so hard, but the Republicans won't let me or the Democrats won't allow it. Blah, 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 blah. They ain't working for shit but themselves and whoever's above them.
Yeah, but you know what?
Okay? I agree with tear down and start over.
You're right, because the problem is.
Okay, Jerry.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I can talk to the chat room and Dave about this real quick. Dave, I think you and I covered this with 100 blankets 100 different times. I don't
want to cover it anymore. I want to expose it. I want to get people to think.
But when you have good people willing to fight to run for an office, and they get there, and they come in swinging, they are put in their place. It is a system of control, and they find it out once they get there that they have no legal ways to make anything happen to fight the system because of the strength and the size that it is. So they are told to comply with what goes on, or they will be ruined. A fine example of that was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I was just about to ask you that. Did we lose her?
No, she, as a matter of fact, had some certain things recently a victory. But, how much are they going to help at this point? I don't know, because I'm not trying to strategize between different sides and different places of power in Washington. We can only hope that the Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world do the best that they can and to furnish proper politics in Washington and expose these people, because I think we gave them a lot of the information that they wanted to help make this whole rebuttal that we're having on what has gone on in Washington come to some type of control, because they're out of control. And so Marjorie's done a lot of things. She was, and remember, she was attacked in her home. We have, contributors through media who are strong in voice, who were taken down. Steve Bannon of the War Room. I mean, look what they put him through. Alex Jones, anybody with a voice. Jesse Ventura. I mean, you could call him a conspiracy theorist, but hey, he was calling the punches out as to what they were. These were our teachers. These were the people that opened the floodgate doors for us to come in and paved the way to say, fight for your country, fight for America. Nobody screamed louder, though. Hats off to you, Alex. Nobody has ever screamed louder than that man as to what these people truly stand for. And remember, as Obama once said, if you go into, I think he called it a platform of sort, and you spread enough lies and cognitive dissonance, you will eventually blow their minds apart to the point they won't know what to believe. And that's the action that they have taken against all the citizens of America. And with everything else that they have put in place, we are here now within that element of war. But again, I think we've had some people up there in Washington. I mean, even Christopher Wray. When you go into the history of these people, the ones attacking Trump were ones of the attorney's offices now proceeding against him, who are in places of power and being questioned in front of Congress and Senate. We know who these people are, but yet so little can be done because all the paperwork seems mysteriously to just lay on people's desks and never gets the proper move forward, unless it says indict Trump, jail Trump, take Trump broke, Trump lied. It's the bobblehead community with the media, and it's their job every day to tell you how to think. It's a fact.
Well, I believe that. I believe a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, none of it is any good for anybody, including people in the country or legal people, or the country itself. So again, we're back to the breakdown. I mean, you look at Alex Jones. I can't stand Alex Jones personally, and he the whole Sandy Hook thing or whatever it was, But you know what? What they're doing by, ruining him basically, or telling Trump he can't say what he wants, or is they're taking away everybody's First Amendment rights. These cases, they win. When they win, they now have precedence to go, because Alex Jones, no matter how moronic, in my opinion, he had every right to say what he wanted to say.
Right.
I don't give a damn if you don't agree with it. What I did? I didn't listen to him. I didn't turn on his show. I didn't do any of that. I just didn't listen to him. Same thing with that Q idiot. Okay. If you want to say something to me, you say it. Okay. I don't want to get a code book. I don't want any of that. I don't listen. Now, I will listen to somebody who, say, for instance, Michael or somebody like that, who will sit there and explain themselves and then make a decision whether I want to believe it or not or whatever. But a lot of this stuff, quite frankly, is right in our face. But people don't want to do the very slight work of dissecting whatever news story they're playing, at the time, and whatever narrative they're playing at one. And it's not hard once you get used to it. It's really not. It's almost like doing nothing. It's just, okay, this has got to be bullshit because, this and this. If they're saying Trump is doing something, more than likely it is the Democrats doing it. And they're just kind of throwing it on him. That's why I didn't believe the Russia thing. I didn't believe the Ukraine thing. I didn't believe any of that shit. But it's easy. If you don't like something, turn it off, because they are now officially taking all our freedom of speech away, but they're doing it through big time people. Okay. And if they're doing it to somebody like Trump with billions of dollars or whatever he's got now, okay, how easy do you think it would be for them to do it to any single one of us? It's been said 1,000 times before. It would be easy, no problem, because we can't fight it. We'd be taking deals, or we'd be doing this, or we'd be doing that, and because we can't afford to fight it. We don't even have justice in this country anymore. We have I don't know what the hell we have, be truthful. Here's what I know. I'm going to say what I want. I don't particularly give a damn who likes it or who don't. And I just let the chips fall where they may. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And I'm nobody. I mean, realistically, I'm nobody. Okay? We're all nobody. But you know what? That's what's going to take. It's going to take that, and it's going to a whole lot more. A whole lot more. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people out there. I'm not sure they got the stomach for it. And that is a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. It is.
So, anyway, Dave, I got to go.
All right, Jerry.
I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Anthony, it's great talking with you. And both of you, I got to tell you, it was a great show. Thank you. It really was.
Jerry.
We'll see you guys tomorrow or the next day. Whatever.
Yeah, you want to plug yours, Jerry? Tomorrow, 7:00.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Rumble, the American Rebellion Show will go for about 2 hours or a little more sometimes. And it's a lot like this. You see some of the same faces, and you will find that they can't cancel us because we don't give a shit. And it's that simple. And I literally have nothing to lose. So I just, whatever, we all just do what we do. So thank you guys, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care.
All right, Jerry. Jerry Michaels, the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. until they end. That's Eastern, so adjust your time accordingly. You might see Michael Anthony there sometimes. You see me rarely. You see Jen Woodruff there all the time, Nikki Young, Robert Lawless, a whole bunch of other people. Mr. Wright, Mr. Anthony. Very rare that you would ask me to change time. We couldn't do it. I wish we could. We would have done it. I'm very glad that you made it here tonight. But what's happening in your world?
Same old, just living life, getting things done. Now with December here and thinking of the kids and the holiday, trying to make some preparations for that, to separate life and work, to better spend time with the kids and do what they want, to some degree. So that's kind of the focus point right now. But working on the house from hell every day, there's betterment. Everything takes time and thought. I'm the type of guy that likes to be creative and unique, but at the same time, remain cost efficient to the project and whatnot. And I'm faced with that, and I have to make something better that was destroyed. So,
I don't get it anymore. I really don't. That's the one thing that I don't get.
Yeah, I mean, really question yourself if you ever want to be a landlord.
Well,
Especially
it's not even that. It's not even that. It was an understanding of growing up and getting a job so that you have a house or a space that you are living in, because not everybody's going to be a homeowner. Some are better off being renters like Donna and I. So I can't understand why, and our friend Bill Jr., who you always see in the news feed, is a landlord too. Some days you got to wake up, I'm sure, and just go, enough is enough. It's it's not worth the lawyer's fees and eviction fees, and even if a judge says, yeah, they're gone and they got to pay you back, you never know if you're going to see that damn money. And I hope there aren't many days when you just look at it and go, you know what? It's just not effing worth it anymore.
Well, I kind of did, not to interrupt you, but I mean, because, you can basically sell as is anything. But, to me, that's almost admitting to a defeat of a scenario that was allowable throughout the United States of America. So I'm the type of guy that says, okay, look, I'm not going to let them win at what they're doing to us that way. I'm not going to let them win, even though in ways they did. But at least I got the property back, and I will do what's necessary to it. And of course, I'm going to sell things at some point into the future. But I needed to put the place back into a type of scenario where I could do the best for myself when that day comes. I could let it lay dormant there and not care about it and let it become more distressed and more damaged and more weathered. And I thought to myself, that would kill every ethic that I ever tried to create around myself and my own being as a person, on how I am. I feel when people ride past my property, they say, hey, look at the old guy. He's always out there doing something. That's kind of how I am around my properties. I'm a hands-on person. I work for these things. I don't have any regrets on getting rid of all the renters that I did and creating more of a poverty in the housing market. But again, a lot of people did the same thing that I did. We are just holding on because the truth is brick and mortar is safer than anything else right now, even gold and silver and Bitcoin. And when I told everybody, be very careful of Bitcoin, look at the money FTX stole from the American people and got away with it. You don't even hear about it. And this is the guy who was donating money back to the politicians, the insider trading. We are within such a negative environment of corruption. I have to think my best way for me. So as hard as it can be, as frustrating as it can be, at the end of the day, it's rewarding to say, I made this better. They thought they beat me, but they didn't beat me down. They didn't beat me up, and they ain't got rid of me. And that's part of how I look at the success on what I get done every day. It's taken me from shows, but I got to tell you, Dave, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if I ever want to format back. In ways I have always told you, I think I told America enough. I called a lot of things before it ever happened. One of the most signified things that I tried to put out there that would give people the element of truth was believe in the unbelievable. I was saying it before Trump said it because I knew the path that we were going to undertake. How do I know it? Research. They were doing it. Watching things get placed, watching the negative things that we talked about happening years prior to this. And everything comes to a point of implosion. And America is imploding upon itself through its leadership. And we have a war in our own country against our government, and we're trying to fight them on all the legal methods of platforms to do the best we can. I don't know, brother. I'm just going to stay strong. I'm going to fight the fight. But I don't know if I'll ever. Again, you mentioned Sunday nights. I don't want to inflict. You're not inflicting anything. Do what you need to do. If for some reason I came on, the one thing that I did learn that that has more impact and is more significant is people will tolerate me and my voice, the way I talk, shorter than they ever will longer.
Yeah.
You know, because people tell me, Michael, you don't, like right now, you don't know when to shut up. I'm sorry. I was born with the ability of don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, it's why am I like that? I think it's because the love for children, the future, the things of normalcy that we kind of thought we had, but never really had. But the general narrative of how they promoted this to this point, we were always misled that everything was ever so perfect because the United States was the safe zone. Well, now we know the United States has lost its integrity, is no longer a safe zone. We have people coming across the border in the millions, and we have unaccountables all over the United States of America planning we don't know what.
Yep.
We have people taking children, people feeding drugs to kids, people poisoning foods, poisoning water, our own military spraying over our heads. Believe this, follow this. We will teach you. We will lead you into freedom. They will lead us into death, and they will conquer us if we let them. I'm going to say this and leave. I love you guys all to death. I don't know if I'll ever come back on America in Crisis. I don't know if I'll ever promote another America Disclosing Uncensored show. But I'll do my best to come in where my friends are having something. Yeah, you know, and talk to you guys because it's not about being special. It's not about being bigger than the next guy. I don't want that. I want the most powerful messages I can give to the audience.
All right. All right, brother.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great night.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. Take care.
All right. Michael Anthony from Studio 10 o'clock. America in Crisis, America Disclosing Uncensored. Just go to the Michael Anthony Facebook page. I'm sorry. Mouth is having a little trouble moving. The Michael Anthony Facebook page and become his friend, and you'll get notifications when he is on all the time. Jane McMillan, thank you for watching. Alan McMillan, thank you for watching. We'll scroll up a little bit and see who else was here. Karen Hackley, my buddy from Texas. Sorry you came in late. Karen watched the podcast and comment, and I'll be sure to watch it to look for any comments that you might have made. Larry Burns, always a pleasure. And we'll scroll up and see anybody else. William Grant came in. Eric Leon Barton from Americans for Free Speech here on Facebook popped in. And Stephen Tolliver did pop in. Larry Burns, Stephen Tolliver. So if we didn't get your name mentioned, please understand that we appreciated that you watched. We were live on the Dave Globin profile and over on the Boogie with the Bull page over on YouTube, and we're looking at Rumble, and one of these days I just have to pick up the phone or get into a conversation with Rumble and get them to answer all the questions that I need. The window is closing on the Trump 2024 ornament. White, you see the 5 stars, you see Trump in white 2024 on a red ornament. And they are $4 each plus $2 for shipping. They are 3 for $10 with $5 shipping, makes it $15. So if you are interested, message me and I will make sure you get one. Message me on Facebook and we'll go from there. Hey, Billy Hardy, my buddy from Central Square Taxi up in Waltham Red Cab, which I don't think neither one of the two companies are around anymore. Another company bought the name just to kind of put them out of business, I think. But anyway, Billy Harding is my buddy up there in Leominster, Massachusetts, and one of these days we'll get the name of his company. If you're still around and you're in that area and you need a good car service, Billy is the man to call. Another plug. Before we go for Bill Muckler's 2 books, 2020, A Clear Vision for Our Future, 2020, A Clear Vision for America. They're kind of got cut off on the screen there. Go to 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com. The 2 books are $25 right now for the pair. Bill will be more than happy to write some nice words to you in the front pages, or if they are a gift for someone, he will do the same thing. They're very easily read, so you should go buy them. If you missed on the, I believe it was Friday the 1st on the American Rebellion over on Rumble at rumble.com/AMREB, AMREB/live. On the AMREB Rumble channel, you can go over and look. I think it was December 1st, last Friday. Bill Muckler was on. It was a fantastic show. Jen Woodruff talked him through a good old-fashioned interview. And please go watch that. Bill's a great guy, very knowledgeable, and you will learn a lot. You can catch the Bill Muckler Show Monday through Friday on Facebook on the Bill Muckler page. I believe it runs about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, although I know Bill said that he thinks it hits around 11:30. I know if you go over to the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk public group over on streetlock.com, streetloz.com, the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot group over there, you can watch the Bill Muckler Show. It lands there at about 11:30 Monday through Friday. And anyway, we're going to wrap this up and get ready to go to bed because I'm tired. I am tired. So Callan says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Alan. And it's nothing special. It's just a Bubba, one of those thermal nice mugs. I use it for hot coffee in the morning or iced coffee in the morning. It's 24 ounces. It's nothing special. But if you really want a special mug, the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored mug. It's a white ceramic mug because I wanted one. It's truly bipartisan. If you hold it in your left hand, everyone knows that you're a leftist Democrat socialist on Facebook who supports Boogie with the Bull. If you hold it in your right hand, everyone knows you're a good old-fashioned conservative patriot who supports Boogie with the Bull. The white ceramic mug runs $10 for the mug, $10 for shipping, so $20. You talk to Jen Woodruff if you are interested, and she will give you the link to order the mug. I think it takes about 3 weeks from the time you order it to when you get it because they make them one at a time. Boogie with the Bull, next one up is Thursday Night Live, Thursday 7 p.m. till about 9 p.m. Please stick around for that. And who knows, maybe another one coming up in the pike. Anyway, this is the part of the program where I tell you you have been watching Boogie with the Bull live on Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live here on Facebook and over on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, a wholly owned copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own it all. If you got questions, comments, suggestions, message me on Facebook Messenger, or you can write me at boogiewiththebull@gmail.com. And anybody's suggestions are greatly appreciated. Yes, we are fully aware of the drive-by pornings, as I call them, over on Facebook in the Facebook groups, mainly in the public groups. We are doing our best to take care of them. It doesn't seem that we can do anything right as far as Facebook is concerned, because if we catch it and we take it down before Facebook takes it down, Facebook spanks us anyway. So I apologize. I don't know what the answer is. I really do not want to put post approval back up in any of the groups, public or private, because it really makes it hard, and we depend on people who post in the groups. So bear with us and we will get it figured out. And if we don't, then we may lose groups to Facebook and we'll figure it out. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Like I said, next Thursday, this coming Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you want to be on the broadcast, you are more than welcome. All you got to do is come into the Dave Globin live chat after 7 p.m. and look for the link, and that will bring you on. If you don't see the link on your screen, you're always more than welcome to ask me or someone to send you the link, or you can join the Boogie Links group over on Messenger and get the link as well. Anyway, I got to go check on the dog. It sounds like she's choking from drinking too much water. So, double means for victory. This Boogie Winnable broadcast is coming to an end. One more time, we come down. Double